So today I'm going to add some Dempster pillows to my, here, hold on. There we go. I'm going to add some Dempster pillows to my hives, a couple of my hives, just because I'm sick of using moisture quilts. Moisture quilts are great for wicking out moisture from the insides of the hive and all that fun stuff, but I find them a little bit, I'm just kind of sick of using them. I want to simplify things, so I'm using a Dempster pillow. This one looks like it's ready. Let's just put this down right here like this. Alright, so I'm just going to take this Dempster pillow and shove it right there. Okay, this is a perfect installation of a Dempster pillow. So what it is I still got my ventilation rim, and you can still get your ventilation out the holes there. But the pillow, which is basically a 2 or 3 inch thick burlap pillow full of dried, kiln-dried wood chips, sits over the inner cover, and the hole in the inner cover is still there. So, and this inner cover actually, is this the one? Yeah, I even have holes, corner holes in some of my inner covers. Anyhow, but basically the heat from the bees pushes the hot, moist air out of the hive through that inner cover hole and into the wood chips that are inside this very porous burlap pillow. Once it gets absorbed, it will evaporate out these holes, and theoretically it just pulls the moisture out of the hive, keeps the bees dry. A normal moisture quilt, which is just like this setup right now, it's basically a ventilation rim just like this, except it has the inner cover is completely gone, and the moisture quilt has a porous material like canvas or a very fine mesh covering it, and then you put the wood chips in and put it on. So basically all the moisture, the whole inner cover, what was normally the inner cover, is just basically open, and the hot air easily flows through the wood chips and gets absorbed through the wood chips and evaporates outside the hive. The only reason that I'm switching to doing basically the same thing but with a Dempster pillow is because when I used my infrared camera, I noticed that a lot of heat escapes out of a regular moisture quilt because it's just more or less open, right? It's completely open. You're removing the inner cover that holds a lot of heat in. So I'm basically using the inner cover to keep more heat in, yet the inner cover hole is still open and moisture can still escape from the inner cover hole into the wood chips and evaporate outside the hive. And I hope that works just as well. Plus this 2 or 3 inches of wood chips does provide some insulation, so it should work. So this is a Dempster hive pillow that is more or less designed to replace my moisture quilts. But generally I see it as just a convenient way to add moisture absorbing wicking material into your hive in a convenient way that you can just put it in and take it out because it's inside a pillow. I've never used it before. This is my first time using it, but maybe it'll go moldy, maybe it'll get damp, maybe it'll get, I don't know. But right now I like it. This is the very first day I've used this, so I don't know if it's actually going to work, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. So we'll see. Anyway, it's not too bad today. It's cold, but not too damp. But it's definitely a lot of, I think after the snow, the first snowfall, you get a lot of dampness in the air. Some will say that it's not the dampness from the environment that causes dampness and condensation to build up inside the hive. And no, not necessarily true. I've definitely had hives that were in foggy, dense, wet, moist areas, and they're just soaked. They just get totally soaked because just imagine, like, if all of this was just floating water molecules in the form of fog, and then you had 100-kilometer winds blowing directly into the hives, all those little floating water molecules would blow into the hive, into every little crevice and hole, and they would get full of water. It happens.